One thing I must say, back in those days, schedules were kept.
Okay.
Each bus stop had a schedule, and you could look on it and count your, put your pot on fire. That if it says 7:56, is 7:56 the bus leaving? We had to take a country bus called Field Marshal.
Field Marshal?
Field Marshal. It ran between Montego Bay and St. Anne's Bay. So it went through Claremont and dropped me off at Ferncourt High School.
Was that bus up to par with the JOS bus, or was the JOS bus
Yeah, man,
quality better?
JOS bus was way above it.
Really?
Yes, 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 because the country bus kind of, is older vehicles. We used to call those buses chichi buses, not because bed bugs were on the bus.
Okay.
Right? That is also called chichi. It was.
I am back with one of my historians, Cecile. Now, the last time I interviewed Cecile, we were on a time restraint. So everybody come to me and said, boy, we must make her talk more about Jamaica, talk more about the things that she used to experience in Jamaica.
Okay, I have time.
You have time?
I have time.
I have time too. All right, so talk to me. What type of buses did you take growing up? I'm not ready for the air yet. I'm going to tell everybody about the air. Everybody's going to wonder. All right, first of all, what you did with your hair?
We cut it off, man. It's 20 years I had this locks.
Yeah.
And everybody loved the locks. Even I miss the locks. I miss my locks, I have to say. But I just get up one morning with a bean and my bonnet. And I decided I wanted a new look. Because I've been wearing these locks for 20 years. Plus, what happened, to tell you the honest truth, I started to gray in this funny way where I look like a rhesus monkey.
Okay,
because
okay.
my gray was just going along the hairline.
Yes, okay, I got you.
And it,
You never want to dye it either?
I tried that.
It never work?
Well, every 3 weeks.
Oh.
Every 3 weeks, I feel covered. No.
Cecile is such an attractive woman. Cecile, you mind
you.
telling us your age again, please?
I'm 75.
Beautiful for 75.
75. I'm 75.
Black no crack.
Black no crack. For those people who don't believe, I can say quick. 1948, October 26, 1948, I came into this world.
Wow.
So,
wow.
This year I'm actually 76.
She's looking lovely.
Thank you.
This is how I want to age. And people know she mohawk it, she show me it and everything, Oh, no.
Check it out.
She love her mohawk.
I think I'm young.
No, listen, you're beautiful. You have such a wonderful spirit.
Thank you.
So let me ask you now, growing up, what type of bus you used to take?
Well, remember I told you I went to boarding school from age 8. So I lived in Montego Bay at the time, and we had to take a country bus called Field Marshal.
Field Marshal?
Field Marshal. It ran between Montego Bay and St. Anne's Bay. So it went through Claremont and dropped me off at Ferncourt High School.
How long was that journey in the mornings?
Well, I had to get up like 4 o'clock in the morning, get ready to leave home by 5, and the bus would leave like about 5:36. And it was pretty much on time.
Yeah?
5:30. It leave from Montego Bay. You have to go right into the square, Charles Square. And we went from there along the north coast, and then it reached up to, it goes through Claremont.
So you said the name Field Marshal. Was it written on the top of the bus?
No, not on the top, along the side. Side, Field Marshal. I can see it now. It was a red and blue combination colors.
And it was a typical country bus. What were the seats like?
They
were hard?
No, man, leatherette. Leatherette seats, not cloth. It was leatherette. What is my biggest memory?
What?
My best memory, worst memory of Field Marshal. I was coming home at the end of term. It was a Christmas, and we had a Christmas feast at school. And I don't know what I ate that set me off. Man, I was so sick.
Jeez.
On the way home, I was so sick. I had to be begging the driver to stop every now and then.
Wow.
I vomit. Gee whiz, I was so sick.
How old were you at that time?
I was 11, about 11.
So when you get up, backtrack a little bit. Look how early I have to get up, right?
Yeah.
How long was the journey?
The journey, I didn't reach, remember, it had to stop. About 2.5 hours to get to Claremont. So would reach like
Two and a half hours.
say you reach school by about 9 o'clock morning.
So
Yeah.
that mean because clearly there was no highway then. So yeah, drive through community.
Yes, and Hill and Gully, especially when you turn off from St. Anne's Bay and you have to go up Lime Hall, go through Kitchen Town.
Yeah.
I remember the names already. And you pass the bamboo and thing until you come to Claremont.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Jeez, that's a lot.
it was a lot. It was very, very curvy, very windy. Lots of rocking and roll to make you feel even sicker.
So the other kids were on it. Who was on the bus?
Well, ordinary passengers, not, it wasn't like school bus if is that what you're
Okay, got you.
asking.
Yes.
No, it was just regular passengers. And sometimes I was lucky and my father, if he had business in Kingston, he would drive me to school. Or I would get a drive from the Blythes, who lived in Savlamar.
Okay.
And they had a daughter, Grace. Grace, if you're watching, hi Grace. Grace, who also went to Ferncourt. I would get a ride with them. But most times I had to take the field marshal.
Wow. What year you think this was?
This was 50. Let me say, I went to Ferncourt at age 8 in 57. So this was between 59, 60, like that.
Okay then. You talk about the transition into the JOS bus. Was that bus up to par with the JOS bus, or was the JOS bus
Yeah, man,
quality better?
JOS bus was way above it.
Really?
Yes, 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 because the country bus kind of, is older vehicles, kind of chuck up because the passengers included the market women,
Okay.
and so on and so forth. The
So
JOS,
they used to have things at the top too?
yes, of course.
So where you put your bag?
They put my suitcase up there.
Yes.
Yes, you don't put it. You
Your
don't.
Dulcimina? Where is
My grip. It's what you call dulcimina.
There is have this good thing where it's like it's an old time little stuff, man. where you-
Dulcimina. No, I had a grip. A grip with it's not like you don't have no wheels left rolling like how you have luggage today.
Yeah, I realize.
Right. It's a proper grip with, and it didn't have zip round lid. You clasp it. It have lock and thing and clasp it. And then you have to carry, I have to tell you this, when you go to boarding school, they give you a list. Like, first time you go, you have a list, how many sheets, how many pillowcases, 4 uniforms, 4 blouses, 4 bloomers, and all that, And my mother was very punctilious. So when we got to school now, I remember I was only 8 when I started. And I was in the prep section. So we had a matron who would unpack you and be in charge of you. And I am proud to say that matron made the point. The matron said she had never seen such a well put together,
Yes.
trust.
Yeah.
My mother followed the instructions to the letter. If let me say 4 blouses, she's not sending 5 or 3. Everything was just perfect. and the way it was packed as well.
Yeah.
My mother was very, very,
Wow.
attention to detail.
So when you saw, we're going to jump then to the JOS bus now. So about what time you moved to Kingston?
Moved to Kingston in 61.
What was your first experience like seeing a JOS bus and trying to figure out the routes and all them things there?
Well, coming to Kingston, I used to come before, just on visits. So I wasn't really a country come to town to that.
Right.
You understand? I was already sort of au fait with Kingston goings. Yes. So but it was part of the whole experience of living in town, which I thought was kind of nice. One thing I must say, back in those days, schedules were kept.
Okay.
Each bus stop had a schedule. And you could look on it and put your pot on fire, that if it says 7:56, it's 7:56 the bus leaving.
Oh.
Can you believe that?
Would it be there?
It would be there before. Like when I was living in Vineyard Town, we used to call it ride through because it was the extended stop. They have a route and then they have an extended route and they call it ride through. Right? So in other words, the terminus was just at the bottom of my road. Right? So the bus would come and wait until it's time to go. Not for passengers to fill up. Like, oh no,
Yeah.
them don't leave until
Right.
doctor say we have a full bus. No, those days now, the driver know that this bus is leaving at 6:56 or whenever.
You had to be punctual.
So you had to be punctual. So,
So
he,
wait,
he would just wait until the time come now, him gone. So you know that if you want to go school on time,
Yeah.
you better get up, get ready, and be at the bus stop before the bus pull out.
I'm eager for asking this. So you never seen nobody run down one of the buses before?
Of course.
Wow.
Of course, they run down bus. And you know, and that reminds me, I love my people. Our people are so funny. Jamaican people, funny body, you know.
True.
I remember one time, I'm on the bus already, and a Rastaman, or let us say, you know, a man of the street. Hold on the driver, my baby mother coming. My baby mother coming. And so when the lady came on, you know, very crisp lady, in our business
Complete
suit and
opposite of him.
a complete opposite of him. Everybody bust out a laugh.
But he makes the bus stop far.
He made the bus stop for her, but he said, my baby mother, hold on for my baby mother.
So everybody that look now thinks there's somebody like him though.
Yes, yes. And the lady come on, Chris, and can't understand where everybody laughing.
The whole bus?
Right. And those days, you know, we had hub skirt was a fashion.
Okay.
So when you're running, you have to run within the confines of your skirt. You can't lift up your foot and run. So she running dainty like, you know, she running and she hold her breast and run. So when she come on, Chris, everybody bust out a laugh. So it's a baby mother.
Oh my goodness. So would the bus driver stop when persons would run down the bus?
Yes, yes. You know,
they would?
This is Jamaica.
Okay.
This is Jamaica.
So even though them strict on time.
They're strict on time. They will stop and let you, you know.
When you are going on these buses, right? People, this is a big controversy, and a lot of persons wrote this in the comment. And persons, if you want to read her full article about Jamaica's transportation system, it is on my website. All right, I'm going to probably put the link up on top, and you can go to it, or you can look in the description section about our transportation system. So this was a big controversy for a lot of people. The chichi sound.
The chichi, yes.
So the chichi sound now.
Yeah, we used to call them. Yes, we used to call those buses chichi buses, not because bed bugs were on the bus.
Okay.
Right? That is also called chichi. It was because of the pneumatic brake system. So when they opened the doors, it got ch-ch. That's why I used to call them chichi bus. Yes.
Okay, then see. So persons, if you have any comments in terms of you want to relay your own story about that sound, write it in the comment section for me, please. All right, so before we even jump more into the GOS buses, you told me this remarkable story about Bun Up.
No, that was a train. You're getting mixed up.
Okay, that's train.
That is a diesel.
That is okay.
Bun Up was on the diesel.
Okay, so Bun Up was only the diesel then?
Yes, right. Because remember, you know, when you're going and you have a captive audience, right? People take the train and they're going to be traveling for 4 hours from Montego Bay to Kingston. It is I don't know, it's like fly to a oil lamp. The preachers, the itinerant preachers would come on because they have a captive audience, right? So whether you want to be preached to or not, you're going to hear the sermon and things. So this guy we used to call him Bun Up. And the reason he's called Bun Up because after every passage in the Bible or everything, he would punctuate it with "Bun Up." So I'm saying, and the Lord said, "There shall be light." Bun up. The bun up was, I guess, you know, if you slip, you're going to go to hell, and you went bun up.
Because hear what, I read the comments, and especially the positive comments, persons, and one person wrote that them can't believe that Bun Up was around so long.
Oh, because they knew him.
Yeah.
They knew him. Bun Up. Yeah, Bun Up was...
So persons, if you know Bun Up, please write in the comment section.
He must have died by now.
Yeah, where would that train be coming from?
From Montego Bay to Kingston.
To Kingston.
Right. So when, I think I told you in the last interview that my parents separated in 61. That's why we moved to town.
Okay.
My mother went to Kingston with us, right? So we used to have to spend holidays in Montego Bay. We kids would go back to stay with him for holidays, long holidays, and then we'd take the diesel back and forth. So going back to Kingston, we would take the diesel You understand? That's how we were regular at the diesel.
So bun up. What was bun up physical appearance
Yeah,
like?
I remember him. He was short,
Uh-huh.
a black guy,
Uh-huh.
and he always wore a suit. You never see him anything but him suit.
Okay.
And it was, if I remember correctly, it was mostly a brown suit,
Mm-hmm.
tie, dressed to the nines, you know. Because he's a church man.
Mm-hmm.
He's a preacher.
Mm-hmm.
But, and he sweated profusely.
Of course. Tropical weather.
He sweated, yes, and of course, because he was always energized, always talking strenuously,
Mm-hmm.
he would be sweating, and sometimes he go, "Bud up!" and he'd sweat.
So,
he wipe his sweat, so, "Bud up!"
so wait, when you're on the train, is he standing? How is he preaching? That
No,
sermon?
I guess they have their sea legs,
Mhm.
like on a boat.
Yeah.
Him not holding on. No, I'm not holding on. He holding on to him Bible. And the train not going fast anyway. The train going slow. And I suppose when it stop, when it
Mhm.
stop him have to hold on. Okay, we're gonna get jerk up. But we kids, Bud Up actually was the more entertaining of the itinerant preachers. Because if a really serious person come on, it's so boring. You know what I mean? So we kids used to look forward to Bud Up.
Did he get a good collection at the end?
Yes.
Indeed.
Of course. Of course. He was well known, you know.
Wow.
So people would look forward and say, "Bud Up, come on yet. Bud Up, come on yet." Yes.
Wow.
And then he also had, you'd also see him in the town square in Montego Bay.
Mhm.
You know, he would have his little soapbox all about the place. So he was a character.
Okay, then
He was well known.
If
He
you
was
know
well
about
known.
Bun Up, please write about Bun Up for me, please, in the comment section, all right?
Yeah.
And persons, remember, I can't reiterate this enough. If you want to see her full collection of the Jamaican transportation system, it's on my website, all right? Just look for the link in the description section where she write about the plane, the diesel, she write about the JOS buses, different things like that. And I also have my JOS quiz. So we jump back onto the JOS bus. Were they ever packed to the point where you're standing?
Oh, yes. Lots of times. Lots of times you have to stand up. But I have to say this too. Back in those days, children were brought up to be polite. So if you're in a seat and an elder come on, it doesn't have to be a pregnant lady, just an elder. You have to get up, especially if it's a lady. You get up and offer them your seat.
Oh, wow.
And we did this without thinking, because you know that is how we were brought up.
Wow.
Yeah.
I still used to do it, but we would ask the person to hold our bags, put our bags in them lap.
Yes.
Because
you
school
can do
back
that.
them pack.
Yes, you can do that. You could, or they would offer.
Okay.
You wouldn't have to wait for them to ask. They would offer. But it's not like today when
Different experience.
yeah, different experience. Mark you, I've had this situation where I'm sitting and the bus packed and somebody holding on
Yes.
and they ordered the egg.
Yes.
So I would, because of that, offer, get up
Yes.
and say, "No, it's okay, you can sit down." Because
You can't bother.
I can't manage.
You know
can't
what I used to hate? The person who put their body weight on you. They don't hold on to the railing properly, you know.
yeah.
So they must put their body weight. And when the bus stop, them
You mean
lean
you're
on
standing as well?
Yes, and
You're
I'm standing
standing.
as well. Yes.
Okay,
I used to
okay.
hate that. I noticed, based on my research, right? I was not alive in those times, but I would see persons lining up neatly to get onto the JOS.
Oh
bus.
yes, oh yes. You line up.
Yeah.
You line up outside the bus stop when it, you know, it's rush hour. You line up.
And you patiently wait?
Yes, yes. And then you never get left behind, really and truly. They would pack the bus like sardine. Everybody who is standing in the line, you get a chance to come on. But of course, there were some who push because they want to get a seat. But no, lining up was normal.
Wow.
Yes.
See, I mean, you see, there's just so many things that
Have broken
culturally,
down.
have changed, right?
Yeah, and you know, another thing I have to mention, each bus had a waste bin. So there was no need to throw your garbage through the window. We were disciplined. So if you have anything you want to throw away, when you leave in the bus, you throw it in the bin. I don't know why we stopped that. Why have we stopped that?
Wow. Did these buses have doctors?
Yes, uniformed. Yes, usually a lady.
Okay.
Yes, and she would have an apron with with change
Mm-hmm.
to make change. So when you come on, we had tickets. You pay her and you get a ticket,
Mm-hmm.
and she can make change on her apron. It was a uniform. I remember it was like a army green, you know, different. So she had a blouse, a shirt rather,
Mm-hmm.
and pants or skirt matching, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then the apron, the khaki apron,
Oh
and a
wow.
hat. Yes, she had on her hat.
So she would walk from the
Cap.
she'd walk from the front of the bus to the back of the bus?
No, she more or less stayed at the middle in the gate, you know, the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you don't enter from the top, you enter from the middle.
Oh, you enter from the middle. And then
Yes.
you choose where you want to
Right. It's not like the buses in the States, for instance.
back.
The driver,
Mm-hmm.
the driver does the
Collect,
payment and everything,
yes.
collect the money.
Mm-hmm.
No, we had a doctor that stayed in the rear door. When I say rear door, it
Mm-hmm.
was in the middle of the bus.
Yes, yes.
Right. And then you come on, you pay your money, you get your ticket, and you go sit down. And
Wow.
sometimes she'll shout and say, please move down, move down, move down. More people come in. So, you know, if you have your favorite seat or your favorite stand up. No, she said, move down to the back of the bus.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. What
Yeah.
route bus do you remember the route bus
I
that you take?
remember very well. I lived in Vineyard Town and it was in number 26. Number 26 that came. And 26A started from Christchurch
Okay.
in Vineyard Town.
Mm-hmm.
And the 26 is a right through. And that was parked on Central Avenue at the bottom. I lived on 2nd Avenue at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so the terminus for that 26 was in Central Avenue. So you just walk down, literally just 20 yards from my gate.
Persons, if you remember the route bus that you used to take, go to my quiz page on JOS
Yeah.
buses. So I did a quiz about all the different routes and you can guess them and see if you
Right.
get how many
I
of them
can
you
give
get
them a
right.
few that I remember.
All right.
Sorry, so 26 was Vineyard Town.
Mm-hmm.
22 went to Crossroads, went along South Camp Road. I don't know where it started. It was downtown. 22.
Okay.
And then number 11, where number 11 went now? No, I used to take, number 11 went from Crossroads somewhere else.
So if you remember where number 11 went, write
Yeah.
in the comment section. So you would get a ticket. Would you
I remember the ticket, it was red.
yeah?
Yes.
So you'd pay on you'd have to buy a ticket before you use they accept cash. That's basically what I want.
Yes, yeah, that's why she have her apron.
Okay, so
She have her
cash.
apron to make change. And did I tell you it was very cheap?
How much?
Sorry.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a bird dude.
No, it's leave.
The Threepence
Yeah.
per stage,
Trapans.
per bus stage.
And
Threepence,
one
so
stage would be like
sixpence.
half a tree to Crossroad. Would that count as one stage? Because I remember in
Yes,
my
yes.
time, right?
Yeah.
Which is way after your time, but stages were like Constant Spring to half a tree,
Right.
half a tree to Crossroad.
Right, like that. Yeah.
Okay, so you would pay a Trapans.
Threepence for the first stage.
Trapans is coins or notes?
Coins. No, coins. You forget Kareem. I pointed out the octagonal
True.
copper coin.
True.
That is a threepence.
Okay.
Right?
Mm.
So, when we switched from pounds, shilling and pence to dollars, we had cents. So the smallest coin was a 5 cent. You had 5 cent, 10 cent.
Okay.
And then you go up to 20 cents. We didn't have 50. We had 5 and 10, 15. So you have 20 cent, 25 cent, and so on. Right. But back in the day, we're talking about 50s, early 60s, is pound, shillings, and pence. So it was so cheap. Threepence for half a stage, for the one stage, and right through is 6 pence.
Oh, okay then.
Remember, I told you my mother would give me 10 shillings for the week. And that would include transportation and lunch money.
Really?
And I was able to save on that too. I would save on it. Seriously, I would.
You
I would
true
only-
partner?
No, I
Oh.
never chose partner, but I would, what I would do is make sandwiches. So I'd make my own lunch. So when I go to school, I only need to buy a drink.
Okay, gotcha.
You know? I buy a drink.
Yeah, you make the more expensive item.
And make the more expensive item.
That-
And every now and then you treat yourself to a Bruce's party.
So let me ask you, what school were you going at that point?
St. Hugh's High School.
Oh, yeah.
Leinster Road.
Right above, right close to Up Park
Moresco
Camp.
Road.
Yeah, and the soldier camp too, right?
Yeah, that's the back gate.
Okay, that's back gate.
That's the back gate.
Okay, so your journey then would have been much easier than now, moving from, what do you call it, from Vineyard Town home to St. Hugh's. It's a much shorter journey in terms of from when Fern Court.
Oh yes. Oh yes. In fact, I even walked one time. I missed the bus and walked from Vineyard Town straight to St. Hugh's. I was late, of course. After Johnny late, I was late.
Where you have to join? When you're late, where you join?
When you're late, you get a demerit. When I was in Montego Bay now, Barrack School, you get beaten.
Caning.
Caning. So let me just tell you this. This is how school people tell me if I'm wrong. Those days, when school called, I think it said called 7:45. By that time, they close the gate, they close the big gate, and they have a little pedestrian wicket gate that you have to go through, so you can't miss. And when you open that little wicket gate, there's a teacher on the other side with our strap. So everybody who come late get licks.
So wait, you never tried duck behind somebody?
You can't. You just come and when you know you're going to get licks. There are some I never did it, but there are some pupils who know which bush to pick and rub on their hand to harden it. Yes, they used to pick like, we don't know, tamarind bush or whatever, and they rub it on them hand and know so they're going to get licks. And then rub it on them hand and then rub it on them hand. So they come in as out, they don't feel nothing, man. You get 3 licks or whatever. And you can't, you know in advance, so you're going to get licks because you're late. You know in advance you're going to get licks because you don't do your homework. You know in advance you're going to get licks because you chat in class. You just take your licks.
We used to go like this. When you used to do that too?
No, we used to wait down, so. So we go with the belts.
I did try that one time with a teacher, and she never count it as a lick. She said, put it back your hand.
Of course, there were some drama queens. Like I remember when I was at Barrack School in Montego Bay, there was a guy, a little boy, who would make such a production out of getting him caning, right? So every time we get a lick, why? Co-balling, and he have to run round 100 times and come back for another one, and he ball and he go round again.
I had two persons who did that. So when I was going to Jesse Paul, there's this girl named Kadian. And this was sad. And Kadian, love you, right? But I used to love to see Kadian get beaten. Because it was a production. Roll for the ground.
You might as well make the most of it. You might as well make... I don't know why people's afraid of licks now. You take your licks. You know you deserve to get your licks. You take your licks.
True.
Can I tell you also, Kareem, those days, you see like how now you get punished and then bring your parents, then bring the father and bad man to come bad up the teacher. Those days, if you lost your pass and go home and tell your parents you get beaten, you're likely to get another one. The parents are going to lick it. Why did you get licks? Because you must have done something wrong. So they add on top of that. So you don't want to say anything.
You just take it and just go and...
Take your licks. You know you deserve it. Take your licks. make life simple. So
let me ask you, did they have like a lot of buses where it was crammed with just school kids alone?
Yes, you know, obviously when school let out, you're going to have a lot of schoolers on the bus.
Was it cheaper for schoolers or everybody paid one fare?
No, it was cheaper. It was cheaper. I think children below the age of 12 would pay kwati.
Okay. And then everybody with trupans. Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. There is people always saying the patty van, right? A patty pan or whatever it was.
Patty pan, yes.
Yes. Yeah. What was that different from the GOS bus?
No, it's the same GOS bus, but when you go into the rural parts of St. Andrew and so on, they can't take the big extended bus.
Oh.
It wasn't really article, like the article, what they call it, article bus. It didn't have that thing that you can turn corner.
Ah, got you.
Right, that is what they call article, you know.
I never know that.
You never know that?
No.
Is it when you have the accordion type of
Yes. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
pleats, and they call it the article bus.
Ah, you see, I'm
But
learning. I'm
you know,
learning. I'm learning.
yeah, they never have that. It was just straight bus. So when you go into the rural areas, you have to take a shorter bus, a
Okay.
smaller bus.
Got you.
And
Got you.
those they call them patty pan. I guess because they
Oh,
resemble a patty pan.
I get myself because everybody been saying it's
You know what?
different, but
Do you know what a patty pan looks like?
no.
So how you know what?
Yeah, I think I see that. Is that the aluminum thing where it does square up so?
Right.
And then we'll keep it for warm the patty?
And it have a steam. It have a chimney.
Yes, yes,
And it have a
yes.
chimney.
I remember.
So
So
you
it's
can put
hot.
it on fire. It's hot. It's a patty pan.
So persons, if you have any recollection of the patty pan, please put it in the comment section. Let
Yeah.
us know about the patty pan. So that means that it could hold less people too. Was it less comfortable?
No, probably only because no, it wasn't any less comfortable in terms of seating.
Okay.
Right. Oh, by the way, I told you earlier that we had leatherette seats, but there was a time when people used to cut up the seats and them never. So they came up with the fiberglass.
I hated that.
The fiberglass
Because it
seats.
couldn't absorb nothing. When you go in a
hot.
pothole.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, don't it?
So they had the fiberglass seats at one point.
Oh no.
But I wouldn't say, I think the GRS buses were quite comfortable. We didn't have air condition, but the windows could be opened, and so there was always a breeze. But Kingston was it had better ventilation, probably because we had more trees, we had less concrete.
Yes.
So it wasn't so oppressively hot like today.
Ah, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
In your estimation, what made the Joyous buses stop?
It never made money. It was always losing money.
Because if it's going to be on time, it's going to lose money.
Well, not only that, but it's any public transport.
True.
I don't think public transport has ever been able to even break even. You have to deal with, the thief in,
The thief in a gas.
the thief in a
Wear
gas,
and tear on parts.
all of that. It's a public good that the government does have to absorb. It can be run more efficiently.
Yes.
I'm not saying no,
Yeah.
but it stopped because
Did they make an announcement that it was just, or did it just suddenly stop? Like one day it just stopped seat?
it just sort of the rolling stock just got
Less and less.
less and less. They never replaced them. And what took over after that was just chaos. Because that is when they started now the
Private contractors.
What's the name of the gentleman again? Who was head
Ezra Millwall.
Ezra Millwood.
And he won a case against the government and he died before he could collect a cent.
Collect a cent.
He won a
Yes.
multi-million
Yes, when
case.
Ezra, where it was just total chaos because these little, what used to call them again?
That's what me grew up on. Encarver.
No, they used to call them, yeah, the buses were like Encava and so on, but they used to call them, they used to have a name for those kinds of buses. I can't remember it right now.
$250,000 and them stuff there, I think.
Yeah, but they packed them. It was terrible. You see students bent over. They can't even stand up. And they bent over. That was terrible. And they had terrible situations where they would discriminate against schoolers.
I know, I experienced it. I had
Because
to walk from Crossroad to Apple Tree.
Yes. And they said, enough schoolers and things. In
Because-
fact, there was an accident. There was a tragic accident where a child was pushed from the bus by the doctor. She fell and the wheel went over her head and she died.
Wow.
Yeah, it was tragic.
Wow.
So that period was very sad and it lasted a long time. But thank God they came back now to a new omnibus service that they call JUTA now. or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Jamaica Transport Authority.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So they're having a little bit of a difference there. So needless to say though, for you, the JOS bus system would have been the best, right?
Definitely. Because it was on time, more or less. Most times it was on time. I'm not saying that when you have rush hour, you wouldn't be late. But we could look at the schedule and say, okay, the bus is coming at 4, it's coming at 4.
So the schedules would be on the bus stop?
On the bus stop.
Okay.
The schedules will be displayed on the bus stop.
How did they manage to keep that schedule, especially with traffic? Was there not, I guess I'm seeing a Jamaica where there's a lot of traffic.
Yes.
Was there a lot of traffic then?
I think I can use a timeline to distinguish the before and after. I think, my own personal view, that after Hurricane Gilbert,
Mm-hmm.
things changed
Okay.
in terms of traffic.
Okay.
And I just noticed it, that after Hurricane Gilbert, there seemed to be far more traffic. I think people are just up and down thing. And also the deportee phenomenon.
Right, which was about 92 or something
Right,
like
in the
that.
early
Yeah.
90s,
Yeah.
where they started to bring these Japanese
Right.
second-hand cars in, then the traffic just shot up.
Yeah. Yeah. I get you. Okay, I see. Because I mean, it's phenomenal that they can maintain arriving early.
Yeah.
Right? That is.
It wasn't rigid to that. I mean, during the rush hour, they would be late, but not more than by 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so you make it early to school and work.
you have to make it. Yes, yes. All you had to do was to get there on time, get to the bus stop on time. You know that it will take a half an hour or whatever to get to work or school, and you got there.
Okay.
We were much more disciplined, the society in those days, than now.
All right, persons, this is another lovely conversation. If you want to find more of these conversations, we did a previous video where she did an overview of just the money system, the transportation system, the stores and everything like that in that area. You can look for that video. I'll pin it to this one as well. You can go to my website, kareemsquest.com. I write about great adventure places and a lot of Jamaica's culture there, all right? And if there's anything else that you want us to discuss and you want to jog her memory on in terms of you want her to speak on it, just send us a question.
Yeah.
Just write it in the comment section, all right?